Of a 6-day strike over working hours, which is the longest rail strike in the country's history. It's the second strike already this year and it's causing chaos for millions across the country. Deutsche Welle's Arthur Sullivan joins us now from Berlin. Arthur, g'day. So 6 days is quite a long time for a train strike. What's behind it?
Yeah, so since Wednesday morning here in Germany, there's been this massively reduced train service all across the country, and it will remain the case until Monday. So 6 days, as you said, the longest strike in the history of Deutsche Bahn, which is Germany's state-owned national rail provider. Now, the company has been hit by several strikes for the best part of a year, and this strike by the drivers is their fourth in the space of a few months, and as you said, the second this year. Now, the fact that this one is so long just shows the extent to which negotiations between the drivers and Deutsche Bahn have broken down. Essentially, the drivers want to work less for the same pay. They currently work 38 hours per week, but they want that changed to a 35-hour working week, but without any change to their pay. Now, high inflation in Europe over the past 2 years has affected cost of living for millions of workers, in Germany and elsewhere. So it's an understandable complaint. But at the moment, the two sides really are at serious loggerheads. They aren't even negotiating right now. The union that represents the drivers has been very, very critical of Deutsche Bahn, saying that they're intransigent and they don't want to negotiate in those conditions, while Deutsche Bahn says the same of the union. But all the while, as the two sides bicker and blame each other, millions of people are affected, obviously, and also economists say that this is going to cost the German economy around 1 billion just for this strike alone.
Yeah, we've had
euros, I should say.
Yeah, we've had exactly the same sort of industrial strife here in Australia because of cost of living pressures. So Deutsche Bahn, the German operator, has faced a number of crises in recent years. What's gone wrong?
Well, yeah, German trains, have been a symbol in the past of the country's reputation for efficiency. But now their consistently bad performance really is for many a reflection of a wider malaise in the country. Deutsche Bahn's trains are no longer known for being on time. They're known for being late. They're known for being overcrowded. And just to give you a stat on that, the most recent year we have figures, 2022, 1/3 of the country's trains were late. And that number is rising all the time. The company also has a huge debt pile of more than 30 billion euros. And then there's these strikes, which are causing obvious reputational damage and a lack of confidence in the company. And the fact that they have such a large debt pile means they can't exactly just throw money at the problem. So how did it all happen? Well, the simple answer is a lack of investment in infrastructure over many decades. Railways in Germany are at the limit. Germany runs a lot of trains on very old, very decrepit infrastructure, and it simply hasn't been investing in the tracks and in the bridges and the signals that are needed to maintain the service. And as well as that, the total length of the tracks have been reduced over the last 30 years. So the network is clogged. It's at full capacity. So when one train is late, there's a knock-on effect. And the company's well aware of these problems and readily acknowledges them.
So does it look like there's going to be a solution to this strike?
Well, in terms of the strike, no, things don't look good. The two sides are really barely talking at the moment. There's no meaningful negotiations even happening. Deutsche Bahn says that the union needs to change its position. The union says the same of Deutsche Bahn, accuses them of rejecting everything. So there's a lot of calls now coming in for the government to step in. Obviously, the government does own Deutsche Bahn. It has criticised the union for not negotiating, and they say that, arbitration may be needed, but there's no legal obligation for arbitration in Germany. So this really could go on and on. Public sympathy for the drivers doesn't appear to be very strong, according to some recent polls, and that may put pressure on the union to at least negotiate. But for now, it really is just a problem, a big problem for German commuters.
OK, Arthur Sullivan there in Berlin. The man behind one of Japan's deadly